Should we get started?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, first of all, I want to thank Lana for getting us together this evening. I appreciate that. I commend all of you for coming out in this cold. I know how easy it is when it's cold out to say, nah, I'm gonna skip it. Let me just stay under the covers and relax. But just showing up is a powerful act of love that you're giving to yourselves. You're already taking charge of your life. We are doing life anyway, right? So why not find ways and tools to do life with more happiness and joy? My hope is that you're going to walk away tonight with something that feels light, with something that feels useful, and something that you can apply to your lives right now to make it better and more joyful. To keep this talk more of a conversation, right? I'm gonna ask questions every now and again. I invite you to answer questions and be part of the conversation, okay? So I'm gonna start with a question. What does it mean to really love yourself? In a world that's constantly telling you to look this way, to behave that way, to feel this way, what does it mean to really be happy? Or to really love yourself? Please.
To be content with who you are while putting other people on the same level as you.
Beautiful, beautiful. To be less judgmental. Excellent. Anyone else? Okay. So the first step to really loving yourself is to stop all criticism. From this moment on, make a vow to yourself that you're going to stop criticizing yourself. And once you do that, you're going to find that it's so much easier not to criticize anyone else that's around you. And let's be honest, how often, especially as women, do we criticize ourselves? We look at a picture and we say, is that what my hair looks like? Am I really that tall, that short, that fat, that skinny? Is that what I really look like? Meanwhile, that same picture is hanging up in your mother's house like a work of art, right? It's time to look at ourselves like our biggest cheerleaders do. So the second key to loving yourself is to stop scaring yourself. How often do we scare ourselves with our own thoughts, right? All those what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? And all the WPTs, what people think, or what we think people think, because you really don't know for sure what anyone else is thinking. These are all our own imaginations that we're bringing into place. They're all stopping us from living in the moment. We spend so much time stressing about these what ifs and all of these ideas of what we think others think of us. Instead of focusing on the relationships, we allow these worries to consume us. And let's be real, we can all be very, very creative, right? When there's nothing to stress about, we'll create it. Think of it this way. Thoughts are like drops of water. Now imagine a few drops of water fell on this table, right? I can easily wipe it off with a paper towel and move on. But if it keeps dripping, 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 soon there's gonna be a puddle on the floor, and then a lake, and then an ocean, and soon enough, you're gonna be puddling or paddling, trying just to keep your head above water. That's how negative thoughts work. Once they start to consume you. But here's the good part. When a negative thought comes up, you can just as easily step to the side and create a puddle of good thoughts. Easy as that. The first key to that, though, is awareness, okay? You want to ask yourself, what kind of puddle am I standing in? Does this feel right? Does this feel good? And if it doesn't, shift it. Shift it very quickly. before it gets up to here and up to here, and suddenly you're like, what just happened, and where am I, and who is this? Right? It could easily happen. So there's a mantra that I want you girls to start playing in your head. You always have a choice. You always have a choice to make a change. There's always a choice. We are not victims. Okay, so you may have heard the saying, think good and it will be good. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a spiritual practice. It's a mindset shift that shifts your reality. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. Things are happening for sure. It's about choosing how we're interpreting that reality. It's about choosing our perceptions and our perspectives to look at it differently and seeing how we can move forward from there. So many of us, positive thinking doesn't come natural. Life experiencing, even generational traumas and generational conditioning has wired us to expect the worst possible outcomes in life and to focus on the negativity. So tonight, I want to go through 7 practical tools that you can implement right away in order to rewire your minds to think and see things through more of a positive lens. All right, we ready? Sound good? This is your moment. If you've ever felt like that life is moving faster than you can keep up with, and you're smiling on the outside, but you're really searching for something more on the inside, this talk is for you. Okay, so tool number 1, and it's number 1 for a reason, because it is number 1, it should be for everyone. First thing you do every single day, gratitude, 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 gratitude. Gratitude is not a trendy hashtag, right? It's a spiritual power tool. Think of the concept of gratitude as a spiritual power tool. It helps us recognize the goodness in ourselves and the goodness in others, instead of focusing on what's missing, right? It helps us to create space between our thoughts and our feelings. And that space is where peace lies. And that's where we all want to be, in inner peace. As soon as you start being grateful for the little things in life, the blue sky, the trees, the birds, your ability to walk, your ability to think, your eyes, your ears, the more you focus on those, the more things you will find to be grateful for. Gratitude opens doors. Be grateful for what you have, and you will have more to be grateful for. Each morning before rushing out the door, pause. Reflect on all the blessings that you have around you. Thank God for the gift of health. Be grateful for the opportunity to experience life anew. Embrace each day as a chance to grow. Whisper just a small thank you. It doesn't have to be about anything grand, but it does have to be intentional and genuine. Find something every day that you can be grateful for. Number 2, increase the use of positive words. The words that we use to describe ourselves and to describe others shape the way that we view life and shape the way that we live life. Speech is very, very powerful. It can create negative associations, or it can elevate your mindset and open the door for more optimism. For example, if you choose on your own or someone else's flaws, right? Or if you find the goodness in yourself and in others, choosing the positive things will create kindness and empathy, will create that inner peace that we're trying to get at. Try to pay attention to the words that you use, even in your own head. You're going to start to realize the low vibration words are the words that you want to stay away from, right? You want to replace those words with uplifting ones. If you take a look at the handout, there's a full list of uplifting words that you can incorporate. You want to reframe your negative self-talk. We all have moments of self-doubt, right? But what we tell ourselves has the power to shape our reality. There are few negative thoughts that many women struggle with, right? So what I want to work with you girls tonight a little bit is reframing these negative thoughts. So I'll start with one of them. Negative thought. I'm not good enough. Okay? If we reframe that, it's I'm consistently growing, I'm learning, I'm evolving to be the best self. All right? Negative thought. I should have done better. We as moms say that a lot to ourselves sometimes, right? I did the best I could with what I knew, right? I could improve and I will improve, right? You see the difference? It goes from a very dense negative self-talk to, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not perfect. I'll work on being better. Very different. You want that positive feeling that goes along with that thought process. Okay, so I'm gonna say the negative and I want to see how you guys can reframe it. How about if I say, I'm too old or too young to start this, to do something new. How can we reframe that?
Anytime is a good time to take a first step.
Say again?
Anytime is a good time to take a first step.
Excellent, excellent. That's exactly right. You are exactly where you're supposed to be on your journey. Today is the youngest you're ever gonna be, right? So, there's never a perfect age, right? All of these things, it's just more of the feeling rather than just the words. You wanna look at that feeling of, oh, I'm too young, I'm too old, I can't do this. I'm gonna go back to school, I'm gonna learn something new. Rather than, you know what, this is something I've always wanted to do. If I don't try it, I'll never know if I can or not. Right? Okay. So the shifts are very small, but they carry very powerful energy with them. Ask yourself, what words am I going to choose today? What am I going to choose today to make my world a little bit better? To make my inner world a little bit brighter? Okay? Tool number 3, shift your perspective. Emunah and bitachon shape the way that we think. Your faith and your trust. Faith is not a passive hope. It's an active trust in Hashem. Knowing that despite the uncertainty, the pain, the challenges, there's always meaning behind what's happening. Yes, Sir Betson? But it's fact. This is emet, right? We hold on tightly to all the disappointments, the rejections, the uncertainties that we're feeling. And in doing so, we push away the connections that we can have. It's important to always know that our job is only the effort. All of the outcomes belong to Hashem. The outcome is never in our control. Our job is only to do the best that we possibly can, and then Hashem takes over at that point. But if you try to control everything, all you're doing is pushing away any kind of connection that you can have, both with other people and with Hashem, and mostly with the alignment that you can have with yourself. Trust that Hashem is leading the way. Number 4, cultivating joy. Okay. Thinking about joy will bring more joy. It's simple as that. as that. I'm actually going to prove it to you. I'm gonna try an exercise, okay? I'm gonna say a bunch of words, and I want you to conjure up scenes in your mind, okay? That connect to the words that I'm saying. Joy, goodness, love, happiness, abundance, kindness, laughter, freedom, harmony, peacefulness. What images came to your mind, and were there any overlapping images with the words? Does anyone want to share?
People laughing and smiling.
People laughing and smiling. Very nice.
The first thing I'm thinking is vacations.
Family time.
Family time, vacations, right? Being
Beautiful.
away from all the stuff that we tend to do a lot of and just relaxing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Whatever images came up, these are your personal joy triggers. Take it with you. These are your joy triggers. Anytime you need a minute of inner peace, close your eyes. You're welcome to go into that.
Go for
Okay?
vacation, come on.
So Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, the Ramak, teaches that physical qualities reflect spiritual realities. He actually has colors that connect to spiritual meanings. So for example, the color white represents chesed, loving kindness. Wearing white can elicit feelings of joy and compassion. Red reflects gevura, strength and discipline. Blue and water symbolizes chesed, which can bring peace, right? Before sleeping, if you look at water or conjure up images of water, it's very relaxing for sleeping. And scientific research shows that prayer and meditation increase the healing factors in the body and your emotional well-being overall. So I'm wondering, are you girls up for a short, maybe 10-minute meditation?
Yes.
Yes, great. This meditation is made to increase joy, so that's where we want to go with this. Should we dim the lights a little? That'd be okay?
Jamie, it's actually behind you.
Perfect.
Sorry. If you just press and hold, it'll dim.
Do that side there.
This side is here, it's actually right behind you. Do you mind just pressing? Pressing? That's too much, maybe.
Hold on, yeah.
No.
Perfect. Okay, that's fine. Perfect, yeah, perfect. All right, everyone. Sit up in your seats. Close your eyes gently. Take a deep breath through your nose. Hold it, and slowly let it out through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaws soften. Let yourself arrive right here and right now. You are safe. You are held. You are ready. Imagine yourself walking toward a beautiful garden. The air is warm. The breeze is gentle. You hear the birds singing in the distance. As you step through the gate, you notice colors all around you. There's lush greens, soft pinks, golden light filtering through the trees. You walk slowly, barefoot on the earth. Feel the ground beneath you, solid, nourishing, alive. Ahead is a small pond. It's still and it's clear. As you approach, you see a reflection, not just on your face, but you see your essence. You see strength. You see softness. You see possibility. Now look into the water and notice the colors swirling between the surface, beneath the surface. Green helps things grow into abundance through envy. Envy motivates all life. Sense the different shades of green. Feel the beauty of light green and the purpose of the darker shades of green. As you look further into the pool, you see the color blue. Blue is like the sky over all things, filled with truth. Sky blue is the color of beginning. Blue is the color of God's presence, His Shekhinah. Shift your assemblage point to the color purple. Purple is mysticism and royalty. Visualize blue and white garments laid on your body, with a crown on your head. Before you is a castle, and within you is the greatest treasure room. Proceed toward the room. When you reach the door, notice that you have a key in your hand, a key that will open the lock. Inside there are stacks of gold coins and other treasures. Seek out the greatest treasure in the room. It might be a large ancient book, a book upon the pedestal. Become curious about it. Walk over to it. Open the book. Open to a particular page. Imagine what you see on the page. It's a single letter. It's the letter Kaf, the book of creation. Kaf signifies life. From here, we learn that the greatest treasure in the world is to be alive. Visualize the color yellow and become one with it. Feel yellow all around you. Yellow may represent the intellect and illumination of ideas. Yellow overwhelms all personal deceptions. It dissolves all the delusions of one's identity, and it gives you a healing glow. Let it fill your mind with light, with direction. Let it fill your body and heal it every which way. Shift into the color orange. Orange is sensuous, it's relaxing, succulent like an orange. Orange nourishes the emotions and calms all the nerves. It's regenerating for the body and the soul. Feel it flow through your chest, through your belly, through your heart. From the corner of your eye, you notice red, strength, courage, boundaries. Red reminds you that you are powerful, you are protected. Let it ground you in your truth. Now move out of the colors and back into your enchanted garden. Step away from the pond and walk deeper into the garden. You find a path lined with glowing stones. Each one represents a moment in your life that has shaped you. Some are smooth, some are jagged. All are sacred. Step out of the garden and back into the present, feeling renewed. Take the gifts of the colors and their lessons with you. Now take a deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out fully. Begin to return to the present moment. Feel your body in the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. How are we doing? Everybody ready for a good night's sleep? Good. Let's continue. So I have this and other meditations recorded. If anyone wants them, send me a quick text and I'll forward them to you. It's a very good thing to meditate and to pray. Prayer is a sort of meditation. You know that. If you can incorporate that into your life every day, it goes a long way. Okay? All right. 5th tool. Read or listen to podcasts on positivity. There's countless resources over the internet. You have blogs, podcasts, WhatsApp posts, WhatsApp chats. They're all dedicated to optimism. And actually on the sheet that I prepared, there's a QR code. That's to a chat that I created only on positivity. There's nothing else. No one could post on there but me, so I know what goes on there. And it's only positive things. I created this actually when October 7th happened and when there was so much going on. There was so much negativity. I felt the need to spread more positivity, and it's grown. It's a nice chat if anyone wants to try it out. So negative thoughts are going to creep in. That's just human nature. That's our general go-to, is to go more towards the negative. But the more positive things you focus on, the more that will come into your field of vision. So if any of you are on social media, you know that when you look at something on Instagram, Facebook, on any of them, the more of that type of thing is going to come up, right? Mm-hmm. So if you watch something that has to do with the news, you're gonna get more news. Same way, if you're gonna focus on more inspirational, watching, rabbis or inspirational things, the more of that's gonna come into your feed. And that's what you want. You want to surround yourself with things that feed your soul. You want to surround yourself with things that are going to uplift you at every turn. Okay? So content is a tool for healing. Choose what grows you. Okay? If it makes you feel less than, even for a second, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay, number 6, positive affirmations. Affirmations may feel like fake positives, but that's really not what they are. They're the truth, actually. They're reminding you of your truth. What do I mean by that? So positive affirmations are like food for your soul. They're powerful. They're uplifting reminders of your infinite potential and your infinite value. You are valuable exactly as you are. Why? Because your worth is not something that you earn. Your worth is something that you were born with. The Torah tells us that God didn't just create humans with his words. He breathed life into us, right? We have Hashem's divine spark inside every single one of us. So Kabbalah takes it even further. That breath of life is God blowing a part of him right into you. How cool is that? That means that your soul, our soul, is pure, it's limitless, and it's completely good. We are the mirror image of the divine. So think about that for a second. No flaw, no mistake, no doubt, no negative thought can diminish that. Nothing negative can diminish that. You are exactly the way you're supposed to be. Your soul shines beyond all of that, beyond the doubts, beyond the fears, beyond all of the struggles. You're so much more than your passive emotions. You are light, you are purpose, and you are infinite potential. So each time you pass by a mirror, I want you to look at the mirror and say something nice to it. You are fabulous. I am strong. I am able. I am wonderful. I can succeed. Smile back. Be your own biggest fan. And then give the mirror a high five or a kiss. You'll thank me for it. When that becomes your way of thinking, you know, I'm going to tell you my own personal experience with that. I woke up one morning and I realized I have a big mirror right in front of my bed. I realized every morning I'm waking up and the first thing I'm going is, ugh. And it was amazing because when I had the realization, I said, how many years have I been doing this without even realizing I was doing it? But when I shifted, and it was a conscious shift, which means it didn't come natural. I had to literally remind myself every day for like 2 weeks in a row to not say that. And then to actually say something positive. And now I wake up and I go, good morning. It becomes a habit. The same way the negative stuff can become habit, the positive stuff can become habit, okay? So try it, you'll thank me for it. It's a completely different way of living. You start to like yourself more. Okay, so now you might be saying to yourself, well, you know, I know how great I am. I know I'm wonderful, but I'm hurt because this one did this to me and that one did that to me and this one didn't invite me and that one said this behind my back and so on and so forth, right? It's human nature to look at people negatively, especially when they hurt us, okay? When we feel rejected, our first go-to is to reject the other person and find something negative in them. It's very normal. However, I invite you to give people the benefit of the doubt. Giving others the benefit of the doubt frees us from that feeling of disappointment that we have in them. Remember this one thing. If you take anything from tonight, remember this one thing. Just as you're doing your best in life, imagine that whoever is hurting you, they are also doing their best. This is their best. They can't do any better than that. How can you expect someone to give you something they don't have, right? Let it go. Let it go. Choose empathy, choose understanding, choose letting go. Your own life becomes better because of it. So the healing starts with support, right? And you're not meant to do this alone. I recently had the privilege of, I'm a life coach and I have one-on-one clients. I recently had the privilege of working with someone who had to release a very close relationship after 22 years of connection, and it was heartbreaking for her. It was raw, it was a journey that she wasn't ready to let go of, and she couldn't make sense of it, right? Working together, we found meaning in her struggle. Not only in the relationship for the 22 years, but in the fact that it was time to let it go. That growth enabled her to become stronger, better, more able, more capable, and become a person that she herself never thought she could be, right? That's what it's about. That's what life is about. Every difficulty is an opportunity for us to become better. Every difficulty, every challenge is not there to push us down. That's not what Hashem created it for. Every challenge is there to lift us up. We have to look at it as an opportunity for growth, for strength. Okay, so this is what's happening. What do I need to do next? So like life coaching isn't about fixing you, it's about helping to unlock if there's something in there. We all have the answers inside of us. Sometimes you need another person to help you see it, and that's all, okay? And number 7, last but definitely not least, is forgiveness. Perhaps the greatest form of thinking good is learning to forgive, to release resentment, and to embrace compassion. Forgiveness is never about the other person. Forgiveness is always about us, okay? Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means I am strong enough to understand that you're doing your best. I'm doing my best. This is your best, and I accept that. So forgiveness is about acceptance, okay? One part of forgiveness, though, that's hardly ever talked about is forgiving ourselves. So forgiving ourselves, we as human beings all make mistakes. We are people. That's what we do, right? But when you make a mistake, 2 things come up when a person makes a mistake. When the problem comes up, the mistake comes up, either the person beats himself up for making the mistake, which keeps the problem in place, by the way. That doesn't bring a solution. Or, since as humans we always just want to be right? We don't admit that we made a mistake. And if you don't admit it, you can't forgive yourself. So we don't admit, we don't forgive, and guess what happens? We'll keep making that same mistake over and over and over again. So forgive others, forgive yourself, and move on. Ultimately, through forgiveness, a person takes control of his life. You free yourself from the feelings of revenge and of anger that you're carrying. When you forgive yourself and you forgive others, you move from a victim to a person who has inner peace. Now, who doesn't want that? Okay? And forgiveness is the ultimate step in having a choice and making a change. In closing, faith and positive thinking aren't passive practices. They are tools for transformation. When we choose clarity over doubt, when we choose trust over fear, when we choose connection instead of control, life begins to align itself. Our relationships, our opportunities, and our entire life shifts for the better. And that's what we're striving for. As the saying goes, think good and it will be good. So let's make this more than of just a phrase, ladies. Let's make it a way of living. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Great lesson.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. No questions?
I enjoyed so much.
How do you get your mind to think that way constantly? You know, sometimes like you're so used to, you know, the way you normally live your life and the way you go about your day, you always forget. How do you like make it, yeah.
Make it a habit. Okay, good. So, first of all, you just said it yourself, it's a habit, right? All of our behaviors are parts of us. They're decisions that were made at certain points that served us for a certain purpose. It's like a muscle. the more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. The first step, though, is the awareness of it. When you become aware of the words that you're using constantly on a daily basis to yourself and out of your mouth, when you become aware of your thought processes and that they're pulling you more towards the negative, when you become aware of anything, like I did in the waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror, suddenly was an awareness, right? Once you have that awareness that this is making me less than, this is not helping me become stronger. Once you have the awareness, then you take that and you say, okay, I need to shift. What do I shift? What do I shift? And the more that you shift and the more you replace it with a positive, the more that will become your go-to, that will become your habit, that will become the person that you are meant to be, more aligned with your real authentic self, which is what we strive to have. Does that make sense? So what do you guys think about the meditation? Do any of you meditate on a regular basis?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Today I was at a lecture with a rabbit saint, and she says, I'm allergic to meditation. And I feel the same thing. I cannot meditate. I'm allergic. I mean, I try, and then in 30 seconds I just...
So what happens to you?
I think of other stuff.
Yes. So then what do you do when you think of the other stuff?
No, I can't. I try, then I
Okay,
try.
so let me
Even
give you
got a
some
coach.
tools. What do you do when you think of the other stuff?
What do? I try to come back to the...
Right.
Yeah, I try to...
So you're resisting it, you're rejecting it. What you resist
No, I'm not
persists.
rejecting it. I just... In the middle, I just think of like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? I have to do
That's
this,
right.
then I go back again to the medication. It's like...
So this also is similar to what we were saying before. It's, number one, it's a muscle, right? So you can start with a 2-minute meditation and then make it 3 minutes and then make it longer, right? But even in those 2 minutes, when you start, that is what's going to happen. You are going to have different thoughts that come in, right? But that's okay. If you reject those thoughts, they'll come at you full force. What you resist persists. That's life and human nature. You don't want to reject them. Whatever thoughts come in, I hear you. I got you. We'll talk later. We'll work on that later. Don't resist it. Don't reject it. Acknowledge it, and it'll go away. It'll go away. But if this type of meditation, like guided meditation, isn't for you, that's okay too. Like I said, prayer, that should be a non-negotiable for everybody. You take a few minutes out of your day, you want to do it with a siddur, great. I would say do a siddur for, you do the 18 blessings, you do the morning prayers, you do some of the other blessings if you don't want to do the entire thing. But then close your eyes for a few minutes and have a heart-to-heart with Hashem. And there's steps, by the way. There are tools that I can teach you to connect when you are doing that. Sometimes people think prayer is only when you need something from God. It's actually not. Prayer is a connection. Prayer is everything. You want to have a heart-to-heart with God and you want to connect, I'll give you 4 simple tools.
Yeah, I was just gonna. What if you have someone like very close to you and something happened and you need to like let go, but you don't want to and you can't, but you have no other choice.
You want to let go of the feeling or let go of the person?
I mean, I don't want, but I have to.
You have to. You have to. We'll talk. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. So,
Thank you so much.
my pleasure, sweetheart. Be well. Say hello to Jeremy. I want to go back to what Nina asked for a minute. There's 4 steps that you can use to connect to Hashem when you're praying, okay? A lot of people don't really, this is called Hizbut-Adut. Has anyone ever heard of that?
Yeah.
You know. You're very connected.
It's something that I recently learned and started as much as I can putting it to practice, but in special places.
Okay.
What is it called?
Hizbut-Adut.
What is it?
So what is
It really means to be alone with Hashem, right?
Oh, I do that.
Because
all
like
the time.
boded in Hebrew means to be
Yeah.
alone.
Just
huh?
to get that-
Yeah, it's basically,
Right, with yourself, and in that moment, talk to Hashem.
right, you want to have a connection with him, right? And we're never, prayer is not supposed to be asking God for things. Unfortunately, the go-to for most people is, I need something is going wrong, now I'm gonna ask God. It doesn't really, that's really not the right way, right? You don't want to, Gedalia Fenster says this, right? He says you want to pray to connect, not pray to get, right? So it's a little bit of a shift. But the steps in Hizbut-Adut, and I actually teach this in one-on-one with women that have never had any connection to Hashem. I actually have religious women, believe it or not, that have never had a connection. And it really works. So I'll tell you these steps, and ladies, try to implement it and see how it goes. So when you want to have a conversation with God and you want to connect with Him, first obviously find a nice quiet space, right? Take a nice deep breath, just like you're meditating. First step, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Always number one is grateful. Always, always, always. Okay? Second step, which is probably the hardest step, I'm going to explain it, and I want you guys to really think about what I'm saying. The second step in connecting to Hashem is responsibility. Now, what does responsibility mean? Responsibility does not mean fault. Unfortunately, living in a society like in the United States, we equate, is that the right word? Equate, that's the word I'm looking for. We equate responsibility with fault. Like, oh, that's not my fault. No. Responsibility is not fault. Responsibility is actually cause. So what did I do to cause this? Or what could I have done differently that I didn't do? You follow? It's a positive, empowering word. So every day you actually want to think, what am I responsible for? So it could be something as simple as you don't like the neighbor across the street and she comes out of her house and you think to yourself, ugh, what is she wearing? Right? It could be as simple as that to something as I screamed at my daughter today because I was upset at something else and I took it out on her. Right? That's responsibility. What you did that you shouldn't have done and what you didn't do that you could have done. So that's step number 2. And that is the hardest part, by the way, because most people have very, very much difficulty in taking responsibility for things. Step number 3, pray for other people. Pray for other people. Your prayers do not go unanswered. I like to look at prayers like they go into a big, bowl or something, and we all borrow from them as we need them, right? So pray for other people. Pray for people you know need your prayer. Pray for people that you don't even know. Pray for others. Pray for people that have hurt you. Pray for people that you want to let go. Pray for people that you have to let go. Pray for them. Makes it easier. And the last and final step is what you pray for yourself. When you go through those other 3 steps, you know what happens when you get to the 4th step? There's so many less things that you want to pray for because you see how much abundance you really have.
When you say pray, what do you mean by pray?
That's a prayer, honey. When prayer means having a connection to God, means having a conversation with God, that's prayer.
You don't have to open up
That's
your brain,
prayer.
just talk to him.
Having a conversation with God is prayer, absolutely, absolutely.
Say there are women who do all these steps, right? And they still feel like there's no connection to God, right? They pray every day, and it's just one bad thing after the other. Like, how do they battle that?
Maybe the things that they're doing aren't enough. Maybe there's something more they need to be adding. That's one. The other thing is, we all have, okay, so we have ourselves and we have our inner child, okay? And the struggles that go on through life, our traumas through this life and through our past lives, create a lot of boundaries and separation and distance between us and our inner child. This is for another class, obviously. I do IFS work, so I'm using the terminology, but I'm just trying to explain it in a way that might make sense. These bubbles that are inside of us create distance between the alignment that we have within our own self. That disalignment prevents us from being able to connect to ourselves, and if you're unable to connect to yourself, it's difficult to connect to Hashem, okay? It goes both ways. You connect to Hashem, you connect to yourself. You connect to yourself, you connect to Hashem. It becomes like a circular thing. But until you get that, sometimes you need to clean some things up in the process. Look up IFS and then call me, I'll tell you. Okay? Send me a text, I'll send you a video a little bit about it.
You know, I just wanted to mention one thing. You know how you said about, prayer. A lot of times people think that prayer is very formal. Like you said, you have to open up a siddur, you have to open up a book. But one thing that I've just learned in my own path and just listening to different, rabbis and rebbitzins and lectures, all different things related to Judaism, is that us as women, like, we don't need a minyan to pray, right? And we're so much more powerful than we think we are. And as women, our prayer can be in so many different forms. Me, for example, I don't connect to Tehillim, for example, but I do connect to his bodedut, so maybe it's also a matter of finding which prayer,
absolutely.
which type connects you to your inner self, like you said, and connects you to your creator.
Your soul.
It may not only be,
There's
from a
different
book.
modalities. You can try the different modalities until, I started with praying. His bodedut was the first thing that I was able to connect to. After that, I added the morning prayers, and I added Tehillim, and I added other things, but that's where I started. But there's ways of going about, and there's things that you can do to clean that up, to make it easier and to make it feel better. But once you connect, you'll know.
I'm just saying, like, there are things that we do, like lighting candles or making challah and things like that, and they're all supposed to be spiritual, but like, sometimes you just don't feel it.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's like
I
really
hear-
normal though.
What?
Like,
It is.
it's very normal. You can't always be feeling it all the
Oh,
time.
No,
That's what
for
makes
sure.
you appreciate it more when you do
For
feel
sure.
it.
For sure. Yeah, you don't feel it all the time, but feeling it never is also.
What are
Right?
you supposed to feel?
Hmm?
What are you feeling?
When you feel a connection, you'll know.
What kind of feeling?
Huh?
What
It's
kind
your
of
own
feeling?
feeling. It's like
So for me, I'll tell you I'll describe how I feel when I know I'm connected. I feel like I'm being engulfed and being hugged by Hashem. I feel like a warm body is completely covering me, and there's a light coming down, and most of the time I cry.
I have a long way to go to get to that.
You'd be surprised.
Seriously?
You'd be surprised. You, my friend, need to let go a little, and you'll be good. I know her. She's one of my good friends. I can say that to her. When you let go and let God, there's a reason why that's a bumper sticker. When you let go and let God, things change. Things just shift, and you start to see things that you never saw before.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else? My pleasure.
Great lecture.
My phone number is on the sheets, ladies. Anyone has any questions, comments, anything, feel free to reach out. I'm here.
Thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.
But they do, is it a Persian or is it Hebrew?
It's Hasidic, I think.
Is it?
Hasidut.
It's Breslin.
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
To me, it's like.
Oh.